Hi, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome aboard. Let's give everyone a chance to log in. Okay. And let me get my chat box up and running for you. Okay, we should all be able to see each other's chats here. So there. You see my screen and hear my voice. So if you all could type that in, your answer, that would be awesome. Let me go to the attendee panel. See, hi, Alicia, welcome aboard. Betty, always good to see you. David Evers, good to see you too, buddy. Hey, David, I've got some information for you. Maybe set up a call. Give me till the end of the week, if you want to, David. See if there's anything out there on Friday to set up a strategy call. Alicia, also, you should have your information by now. Any new student, set up a strategy call like ASAP. Okay. The information is in the email you get as soon as you sign it, as soon as you turn in your application online, they process it. You should get an email pretty quickly. Go ahead and get yourself set up. Do the call with Jody, and in her instructions she gives you, it's like a box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's number 3. I'm not sure. It has the link to my training calendar, my personal calendar. So you want to set up a call there. The reason is for the newer agents, newer students. There's some marketing we're doing that's getting some pretty remarkable results. So I want you to get that started right away because of where we are currently and things. So in any case, Dave, good to see you, buddy. Gary, always good to see you, fellow Gary. Let's see, Greg Shemitz, good to see you, buddy. Jamila, all right. Hey, Jamila, I think you have a call coming up. I have to look at that. Seems like there's something. Oh, I wanted you to follow up with me too. That's right. Let me know, just shoot me an email sometime, Jamila. Let me know what's going on with that the last conversation we had. Let's see, Carrie Burrow, good to see you. Louis, always good to see you too, buddy. Louis, also set up a call with me if you could towards the end of the week. Okay, buddy? Lots happening this week. A lot of progress being made. Sheikah, always good to see you. Shirley, good to see you too. All right. Vanessa, Vince Curtin. All right. There's a fellow Pittsburgher. Bill Gilmore, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Bill, follow up with me also because I know we spoke. It's been a little bit now, and there was some marketing I wanted you to do. We have some updates that you should probably get a hold of, and I'll just have a strategy call. Use the link you had before, same link, and we can catch up, see where we're at, and I'll see what we need to do next year. Really good to see you, buddy. Let me know how it went. Also, if you wouldn't mind, with the Airbnb, possibly vacation rentals by owner, that kind of thing too. So in any case, let me go to the chat box here, and then we'll clear these up, and then we'll get started. Let's see. Vince is good. Betty's good. David Evers, the link that came out as a reminder did not work. So that would be a Zoom thing. So Zoom sends out those reminders. I'm not sure what they did. I think Beverly figured out how to go back to Zoom where we did not need a password. I understand the need of a password, but I think with us, we don't need a password just to get into our weekly webinars. So thanks, David, for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate it. Set up for Wednesday, 12 Central. Oh, David, that's what it is. David, if we could make that 12 Eastern, that would help because 12 Central, I'm being interviewed on you probably guys have heard of this called Lab Code Agents. No, I'm sorry. That's another one. Lots happening, guys. That's another one on Wednesday. If you wouldn't mind, David, that would be great if you. Thank you, Jamila. Jamila just mentioned my haircut. I was going to ask to see if you guys saw that. I finally got tired of my hair looking like Grizzly Adams. I mean, I'd go out and it was like, you know what it reminded me of, guys? Remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the toy maker, right? The guy that kind of ran the toy shop, and he ended up on the raft with them at the one point. Was that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I think it was, yeah. Well, he had the hair like that, like the swoop. That's what my hair was doing, except it was doing both ways. And I said, okay, enough of that nonsense. So with no barbershop being open, I had this pair of shears I got a while back to, for all the ladies, I just bear with me a second. Is men age, we have to trim the hair on our noses and our ears more than on our heads. So in any case, that's what I got it for. So I just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna get my hair cut here at home. So you're seeing the result. Okay, let's see. Louis. Thanks, Louis. We'll call over the weekend. David Edwards, and yeah. By the way, this is one of those things. The warning on TV: do not try this at home. So, in any case, I usually have a lady that does my hair. Actually, she won a contest in Canada. She was like ranked #2 hair professional in all of Canada, and she's gonna have a cow when she sees me. Let me put it that way. So, in any case, let's do this, guys. For all the new folks, we use the chat box to type in your questions and answers and things like that. You can read it, everybody's. It's totally open mic, no scripting. But we prepare every week for a different subject. Tonight's subject happens to be LinkedIn. Okay, so there's been a general theme going back probably a month or so, which has been social media, and this was one of the components. Okay, now the email you got last week, after last week's webinar, had that marketing sequence, like as you ascend through your business growth from basically entry level, we call you partner level, 1 to 12 transactions. Then you move up to 13 to 52 transactions, which means you're going from one a week to one a month to one a week. Okay. Then from there, 53 to 100, right? You're doing really good there. When you get over 100, you're a hero, you're a champion. Okay. And so my objective is always to get you to that level, right? Well, that document gave you what marketing is more pertinent for each level. Does that make sense? So LinkedIn is one that's really not really relevant or pertinent till you're kind of breaking into that next level of setting yourself up on like social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, of course, LinkedIn. That's what we're talking about tonight. I'm going to do this now because it's not that difficult to do, and it's actually free for the basic service they provide. If you want to go large with it, you can pay for their, I forget, they're going to call it like the pro service or something. Years ago, I did that and I got out of it right away because it wasn't worth it. I'm just being frank with you. I'm not knocking LinkedIn. It's a great tool. We use it now on a regular basis. I'll show you my own page here in a little bit. And I have colleagues who use it. One guy said he made something like $250,000 in 1 year. Okay. So the challenge is there's other marketing that bears more fruit more quickly. In the basic level marketing is some of that marketing, like booklet, letter, things like that, email campaign. Get that stuff going first and keep it going. So Willie, that's why you're kind of your booklet, letter. You see what I'm saying? So Willie, as you can imagine going forward, then when you have that established, now you can go into the social media. So then later on, there's more advanced stuff. Creating your own workshop, things like that. You get into the top level. It's even getting on TV. This morning, I don't know if I told you guys last week. I think I did. So this morning at about 9:50 Eastern time, I was on Fox Sacramento. I don't know if anybody thought to look at that. We're going to get the recording of that and we'll post it out there really quick, real fast. I've been on the news before. They just kept letting me go in 5 minutes. It was crazy. This time I could tell this was going to be a fast one because they're like, Sacramento's a big market. They were zipping through stuff, lightning fire. And I got in there and got to get a few good pointers in for us. Okay. So in any case, look for that. But that's more advanced stuff. And I wouldn't want to have you try to get on TV until you're already in the third phase of your marketing, which is more like podcast, blogging, things like that. So you've already established yourself as a local expert. And then when you go to get on TV, they're like, oh, okay, this guy's got a following. He's doing pretty good, whatever the case is. In any case, going backwards, we're going to go back to LinkedIn, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Okay. Shirley saw it. Hey, Shirley, it's funny. I still haven't seen it, by the way. So I'll have to look and see if I can go to their website and get the link for the recording. So the guy cut me off at the end there. I started getting into one of the government websites, and I'm sure you saw that. And I said, I got to stop you right there because, they have so much stuff to get through. And the reality is, I love doing it because it allows us to spread promote our calls more. But the reality is there's always more pressing things. And for them to let one of us on, we got to really impress them to do that. And I'll show you guys. I don't know if I covered that with you already. I think we did that in February, how to get on TV. I think I did it already. In any case, you know, you have to have a really compelling subject that appeals to the masses. You can't get in there talking just about investing because they'll say, well, only so many people invest. So it has to appeal to the entire audience, okay? And it has to be timely and relevant. And they will switch you up and change you and move you from this day to that day. And it can be a bit of a challenge. So in any case, let's go into LinkedIn. That's what we started this night wanting to do. So I'm going to go to the checklist and share that. Let me go back here so I can hit share. Where's my checklist? There it is. All right. So just like any marketing campaign, always start off with your goals. So for example, most people would say, I want to earn a commission, which is a goal. That's obviously why we're in the business we're in. In the case of LinkedIn, though, it's more about building a following. So I think I've got 3,000 or 4,000 people following me now on LinkedIn, right? The reality is you want to use that as a way to establish your credibility, okay? And if you're worried about content, don't worry. As always, you can always use the content that I give you. I've got some news on that too, by the way. We're taking the YouTube video links, like those 5-minute videos on how to analyze a flip, how to analyze one, all those, there's hundreds of them out there. The tech guys created landing pages for those, so they're more user friendly. So now when you send them to your clients during nurturing campaigns, they look a lot better. And there's none of the other gobbledygook all around here to distract them. They can focus on the link. If there's a calculator I discussed in a link, for example, we actually give them the calculator. They can download it right there, and they associate that with you. Okay, I mean, they're seeing my mugshot, but it doesn't have Gary Wilson YouTube channel, that stuff. It literally just like you give them the video and they get the content as a result. So in any case, we have them all done, and I have one document so far with all of those links. So I'll update the checklist for you guys, and we'll get those out there over the next month. We'll probably do one chunk at a time. So just keep an eye out for that. But back to this. When it comes to goals on LinkedIn, I don't want to tell you what to do because I want you to learn and listen and implement on your own. You're going to learn more from doing and trying anyways. But just a hint here, generally LinkedIn is not a direct path to a commission, although it can be. It's usually an indirect path to a commission. It's more like you establish yourself, like belonging to a BNI group, Business International Group, okay, or belonging to a local chamber of commerce group. You participate on a regular basis, you build some following, and then you might make an offer to something or for something and get a transaction indirectly, or get a live meeting as a result of the people being in LinkedIn. In any case, I'm gonna get into all that tonight. I just want to tell you, LinkedIn is more about you creating a presence online for yourself. That's what I'm trying to get at. But you determine what your goal is for that specifically. I just want to give you some direction there. Okay. Now, you always want to develop a campaign plan, right? And it should always have 3 primary components. Now, there's top of mind, okay? And all this stuff is very pertinent to other types of marketing. In other words, when you go on to Facebook, in fact, if one of you wants to send me an email, shoot me an email, just send it to Gary at rewgw.com and just say, Gary, please send sample of 3 steps marketing campaign, which is campaign level, asset level, ad level. That's what we use. That's the terminology we use in Facebook. And LinkedIn, it's top of mind campaign, personal messaging campaign, and moment of truth campaign, okay? Essentially, let them know who you are, grab their attention, and make them an offer, okay? So in any case, those are the 3 types of campaigns, right? Now, let me get my cursor going here. Whoops. And once again, in Zoom, things seem to jump around a lot. You always want to create a profile of who it is you're looking to attract. we call this avatar. So in other words, my group, if you look at everything I've done, guys, over the years, always had to do with professionals and or business owners, because I wanted to work with people who were at a higher level of, just whatever, being in business, their status in the business world, their level of income, okay, maybe their level of capitalization. And I realized through a lot of years, there were certain groups of people that fit that bill. And some of you have heard me mention them. I'm not knocking any other group. You can work with anybody. I'm just telling you, there's certain groups of people that are more likely to have the wherewithal, the readiness, willingness, ability to follow through on a transaction, which is what you need to earn a commission, okay? So I know on LinkedIn, it's more about professional people, and that's why I like that. So I attract the engineers, the pilots, the teachers, the firemen, policemen, okay? And a lot of times in my promotional material, I'll identify those groups by name. Even when I'm talking, like on a podcast or the radio program I was on back on the 10th, I would specifically name them. Because I want to speak to them, and I mean that sincerely. This isn't about me, it isn't about you. It's about the consumer we're serving, right? So think about it. Think about the policeman who gets up to go to work in the morning, and honestly concerned. He's like, my gosh, it's another day. He's got to be careful out there, or she's got to be careful out there, and they're going to come home and see their kids, that kind of stuff. And they're thinking, I need to do something to generate more income for myself or my family, so if something happens to me, we're not just living off of a pension or something, or a disability check, or more importantly, maybe they can retire early because they really the fear gets to them. That's what I'm talking about. When you get to that level, okay, you will find yourself being a really darn good agent, all right, because people will sense that. So in any case, so you want to draw that picture, paint the picture of your avatar, whoever it is. Could be a number of different people, but define them, okay? Develop your content plan, and I'll give you examples of that in steps 14, 15, 17, 18 below. We'll get to that in a minute, okay? Always review your existing LinkedIn presence and profile, okay? You want to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So let me just show you. I'll go to mine, and I'll show you that now, since we're on that subject. Okay, so Gary Wilson, let me do share, all right? Hey guys, just as a general rule, anything I've got that I do or show you, you're welcome to just flat out copy. I don't mind, just copy it. The content we give you, for the most part, is all copyright protected, but you have the right to use it. Like the stuff you put in a nurturing canvas, okay? We not only welcome you to use it, we encourage you to use it, okay? So you don't have to spend all the time creating it yourself, because we're all preaching the same thing: flipping houses, buying rentals, wholesaling, and so forth. But if you look on here, so I've got somewhere I saw this. Let me see. Let me scroll down. Hang on 1 second. Somewhere I saw, there it is. So 3,396 followers. Now that's taken a couple years. Okay, guys. You'll see off to the right here. These are all the messaging going back and forth. Mostly saying thank you, happy birthday, things like that. Did you like the last report I sent? Stuff like that. In any case, always have a picture. If you have a picture of yourself engaged in something, use that. Okay, it's always better than just a standard. Like, there's nothing wrong with these photos over here, but if you look at them, they're just photos of the person. They're not actually engaged in doing anything. It's just a person. Here, it actually shows me speaking at Harvard. So the mental impression it's making is, Gary's whatever, knows his stuff. Gary's respected in the world of universities, which is really ironic because while I have a college degree, guys, it definitely was not from Harvard. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, I went up there last June 30th and spoke to a room about 132 PhDs. And guys, I actually had them raising their hand and stuff. It was the funniest thing. So I thought they were not used to people like me teaching or preaching. They're like, rigid in their chairs, and everything's very reserved and all that. And I didn't find that. They were actually very warm and welcoming, and I'm glad to hear what I had to say. So in any case, back to this. You can do that too, by the way. All right. Let me go down here and I'll show you some stuff. All right. Where are you currently? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. you're about. Make it real, make it sincere, and tell a story. Okay. I really don't like this too much the way it's laid out. I had somebody do it for me, and I don't really like a lot of stuff that I see that other people do for me, quite frankly. But it's a little bit of a story. I gave them some history here, right, to support the story. Now, here's some things. I'll put articles out there. All right. Actually, I'm sorry. That's a website link. Excuse me. And people will give you recommendations. There's one right here. Testimonials, things like that, and ask for them. I'm going to go over that in a minute. Okay. Here's your dashboard. People viewed my profile. I think this was like in the last day or something. Is how that works. Post views, search appearances. Here's activities I'm engaged in. These are actually podcasts I've done. So Human, I don't know if Human is one of my students, guys. I want to emphasize this again. If either of you wants to be on the podcast as a student, we welcome you. We actually encourage you to do that. Don't be afraid. If as long as you're in the game up and running, I don't care if you've only had a small handful of transactions. If you're in your community and you're putting out there booklets and letters and doing workshops and stuff like that, I'll put you on the podcast, okay? And we actually bump you up in the sequence. You don't have to wait behind all these other people, right? Paul Ritter, good guy. He does credit research and repair all across the U.S. Any case, then you get into the experience section. Everything I've been involved in over the years, well, it goes down to a certain degree. So I went to school way back in the dark ages. Any case, there's endorsements. If you add those up, there's more. I don't know what the total comes out to if they give you a total. But just in a couple of categories, I've got 72, 76, and 55. Again, that's over a couple of years. So I want you to recognize when I first got started, I was sitting where you are, listening to somebody telling me to set up my LinkedIn account and had nothing, had zero. So this only took a few years. And so you can do the same thing and just have to start and follow a sequence, which I'm going to be showing you here in a second. These are high-level recommendations. Cliff's an attorney. Brandon is a social media guru, okay? Let's see, accomplishments, all the languages I speak. I've forgotten more than I've learned. Like German, I was born in Germany, but I couldn't tell you, I can understand a little bit of it, but I'm totally baffled when I go to visit there. I don't have an idea what they're talking about. When I go to France or Italy or Mexico or Spain, I'm pretty good. I never learned Italian, but it's easy to pick up if you've learned either French or Spanish. It goes that way between all three of them. In any case, different interests I have a bunch of them, mostly all related to real estate and investing, all right? So in any case, that's a pretty full profile. So let's go back to the checklist and we'll get back into our lesson for tonight, okay? Now, so your profile, and it doesn't have to be perfect right out of the gate. Just get one out there. Just get it out there. Get a picture out there. If you have one of you doing something, engaged in something, that would be better. In any case, you want to create some scripting. I'll give you some scripting for messaging, campaign tracking. You want to keep track of people that respond to you, that type of thing. Identify and join relevant groups, okay? And also, these people, you should be adding them to your contact management system, okay? It's another source of leads for you. All right, so first things first, the foundation. There's attachments here that I'm going to give you. So let me just go to this attachment we call the foundation. All right, so you're going to give me, I'm going to give you this. You're going to get the email tomorrow from Beverly. It's going to contain probably 5 or 6 different attachments. So everything I'm giving you tonight has a lot more detail behind it, okay? And this is one of those examples. So I don't want to just read this to you on a webinar. It doesn't make sense, but you can certainly read this yourself on your own. So in any case, it wraps up by saying the big key in making this work is positioning yourself is positioning of your leadership platform, which we'll go over next. But the main thing is the foundation, and that's what all this covers here. So essentially, what you're trying to do is, build your profile, identify the people you want to attract. All right. Put all that stuff in there. So if you're looking to attract, like here's some things you can think of. Company size, maybe you want to network with business owners in the area, like lenders, attorneys, insurance people, inspectors, appraisers, bankers, contractors, right? All those folks. Maybe you have a age group that for some reason you attract a certain age group, that kind of thing. You identify all these things that these people might have. What groups do they belong to? What interests do they have? So this is sort of you're creating your cheat sheet, your foundation. Okay. So let's go on to the next step here. The next thing is the process of creating like your leadership platform. So let me go. Hang on. I saw a chat coming in. Hang on one second, guys. Let me go there. Louis, should realtors use a pro account for optimum reach and benefits? Say, Louis, here's my feeling on that. I do agree that when you get to a certain point, you can and should use the pro version. Now remember, I'm not personally in production now. I mean, I've been teaching nonstop for 5 years. Although I do generate referrals and I keep my license active and all that. And I'm sure you've heard me mention this in the last couple of weeks, I am going to be relaunching the team. We're calling it we believe we're going to call it the Global Investor Agent Team. And any of you who are on now, your current active students, all right, and that means everybody can be a candidate for being on that team. So I believe we're going to be able to make the announcement by the end of the week. I'll know more about that by end of day Wednesday, I think. At least that's what I'm being told. So in any case, so Louis, what I would say is always take the free version first and learn it and master that. And then once you have a pretty good grasp of things, they go into the pro version, and you'll get to work with somebody. They'll give you like an account manager to help you through things. We had one, and it was actually pretty nice. But what I did when I got into teaching, I went back to just a basic version because I wasn't actively selling then. Right? Now, just so you guys know here, when I was actively in production, LinkedIn was not one of my top lead generating platforms. Now, having said that, it did generate leads, and I know a lot of agents that this is like they lean on this, So that's why I'm trying to be careful what I say. I just want you to know from my own experience. Yes, I did use it in production, and it got me results, but I got more results from the other things I show you, like the ones we've been going over the last couple of months. Okay, booklet, letter, you have to do those all the time. You can't ever see as you grow in your real estate business and you ascend to the next level. It's not like you stop everything you did at the first level. You just add on to it. Okay, so you keep doing what you did at level 1. You keep doing that. Okay, and you go to level 2, then you add more things because you've now mastered everything at level 1, and now it's routine. It runs like a well-oiled machine. Then you add the next level. Now back to LinkedIn, my suggestion is do this at the basic level first, and then when you master it and you're generating revenue on a regular basis, then you can turn on the pro version. And you would do this, by the way, Louis, in conjunction with forming a local group. Typically, you would do this first, then you would form a local group in person where you meet every month. Okay. So thanks for the question, by the way. Okay, so back here, this is we call it the process. Is basically your leadership. Oops, I just went back to the same one. Hang on one second. Foundation. There it is, all the way at the end. How about that? See, it says number 2 there. I should have looked for that. In any case, in here, it talks about really how you interact with them, because your prospects, by the way, your clients, you don't want to bombard them with a lot of stuff, and everything you send them should be relevant and pertinent and timely. Okay. Now, I was on another group's Facebook platform earlier, and all they were doing was just putting out there like current stats, and that's good. but not all the time. Every post they had was like the latest stats, and people need more. That's one component of things people will need. They need stats, they need education, they need information, they need to take action. So with an education, you can give them like the videos on the landing pages I was describing earlier, right? On information, yes, maybe once every 7 posts, you can give them an informational post, like here's the latest stats this week, but not every day, and same thing with your emails. You're going to use email in conjunction with LinkedIn. So just be careful not to overfish your pond. If you hit your database too often, they'll go cold on you. Okay, you'll notice your response rates dropping. So historically, my response rates have been very, very good, and we're very careful about how much we send out. There'll be periods of time we're sending out more than usual because there's just more going on. But in times where things are a little bit slow, we don't just put stuff out there just to put stuff out there. Okay, we're very, very deliberate in what we put out there and very intentional. So everything Beverly sends, there's something behind it. There's, she's trying to communicate with you things, for example. So same thing here. Only communicate with them when you have something important to say and something relevant. And always think of it this way. Is it something they need or want? Okay. We call this entering the conversation already going on inside their head. So if you're working with a pilot who wants to invest, and we know right now airplanes are half empty, okay? They're starting to fill back up, by the way. And a lot of pilots don't have as many flights, as many flight hours right now, so they have more time. They might be a little bit concerned about, are they going to will there be layoffs? Will they have their pay cut? That kind of thing. So when you think about what they're thinking of, it'll help you determine what information might be relevant to them. Does that make sense? Actually, if you guys could type in your chat box, what I just said there, if it makes sense to you, just type in MS for makes sense. Because what I just gave you there is one of the most important phenomenon in marketing, which is you want to enter the conversation already going on inside their mind. Think and really be serious about this. Be concerned about this. Don't just get to know your folks, like what their dog's name is, what their children's names are, their birthdays. That's all good stuff. But what do they need? What do they feel? Like, how do they think? How does a pilot think versus a teacher? They think differently, right? And then enter that conversation with relevant, pertinent content information, and you'll find yourself having some really good, solid relationships. It's like they'll think of you as a friend, okay? And it doesn't take that much. I mean, it really doesn't take that much. Remember, with investors, guys, you don't need 1,000 people. You don't. In fact, when you really apply all this, I mean, I'm serious. A couple dozen active investors, you're going to be doing pretty good. All right. So back to this. That's the next level. Now let's go to, I think it's this one. Yes, building your database. Okay. Now, remember, you have your database with all of your contacts, and everybody in there, all those leads, if you want to call them, I just call them contacts, come from different sources. Some of them are people you know just from lifelong living friends, neighbors, relatives, coworkers, church members, that kind of thing. Parents of your children's friends is a valuable source, all right? And children of your friends, if you're like my age, right? So that's your core intergroup, people you know more intimately. But you've also got people coming in from different sources like LinkedIn, right? Facebook, you're, of course, like open house in a traditional sense, setting up a group of investors around yourself, a workshop, creating or joining a local BNI or creating your own, podcast, blogs, all those different channels where if you're to bring in people. LinkedIn are the same way. You want to add these folks to your database. So as you connect with them and get an email address or a phone number, add them to your database, okay? And tag them. You should tag them with something that identifies LinkedIn as where they came from. Always. Well, this is another important thing, guys. I know I'm probably making it sound like a lot of work. It's really not that much, honestly. It's just habit. Ask Shirley. Shirley Ingersoll will tell you, right? Or Louis, they'll tell you. Veteran agents. Contacts on your database, you should always put as much information as you can. And if you set up fields, like custom fields, it makes it easier So in other words, instead of you writing a bunch of words and a bunch of notes that are hard to track, create separate categories. So create a category of a lead source, and you could put in there L for LinkedIn, F for Facebook, something like that. Just like you should have the investor field, right? Or L for landlord, F for flipper. So create different custom fields on your database, and you can just put one little character indicators, and it tells you where they came from and what type of client they are without having a whole bunch of trying to keep track of a bunch of notes. You should still have notes, but don't rely on your notes to do your targeting on your marketing. You should have these subfields, right? These custom fields. So only people with L in the lead source field, L for LinkedIn, would get messaging having to do with them being on LinkedIn, right? So in any case, back to this. The next thing is your messaging, okay? This is where the good stuff happens. Oop, I just saw a, hang on one second, guys. I just saw a chat come in, so let's see. This is great info, everyone. Thank you, Shirley. You know what, guys, I gotta tell you, I wish I was more patient when I first started this back in like my 30s. I just wanted to get in the car and just go. I just want to get out there and, hey, look at that. You should buy that house right there. It's a good house, you know? And when I really started to focus on the person, right, I became much more successful, and I got many more commissions per person, particularly the investors, because not only would I get multiple commissions per deal, I get the listing side, the buyer side, maybe even if it's a flip, the end user, like 3-4 commissions per deal, but I get more deals per customer, right? So in any case, that didn't happen until I really got to know them. It was really cool about it is like we became friends. I mean, guys, I've been invited to my clients' children's weddings, skiing with them in Vail, going on vacation with them. Crazy, but it's true. The gold is in the relationship. I said to you last week, the gold's in your database. Gold's in your database, but the the use of the gold is in the relationship. It's the relationship that has the value. Okay, and if you focus on that, the commissions will come way more easily. And I know I sound like I'm preaching here, and it sounds like it's pie in the sky, but it's not. It's real. And and Louis say 100%. And I hope and wish and pray every one of you will take this to heart and really be sincere in what you're doing. And you'll find yourself being happier too, by the way. It's way more fulfilling. I mean, when somebody when you know and care about somebody, when you actually connect with them, you go, we call this going vertical, you go deep, dig deeper, go deeper. It ties you to them. Like you don't want to fail. You want them to succeed because it's like your friend, you know, and it just comes out that way and people see it, you know. So in any case, I feel like I'm getting sort of my passion's coming out. Okay, so back to this. Where was I? Your messaging. Aha. Now here's where the good stuff happens. You know, I want to be careful to not give you too many fish. Not because I don't want you to eat. I want you to eat. But I know from experience, if I can teach you how to do it, then you've got it forever. It's a lifelong skill you developed, and you won't just get a fish, you'll get hundreds and thousands of fishes. But when it comes to content, what I'm going to tell you is, I would rather you focus on earning the relationship, nurture relationship, and serving them. So it's called prosperity through service. You serve them, you cash checks, okay? So when it comes to giving them content, this is where I break my own rule about giving you fishes. I'm going to give you all the fish you could possibly want. I'll give you plenty of content, okay? So the checklist I have tonight, I actually have to update it. I'm gonna have to do that the night before I go to bed because Beverly's gonna have the old version. I'll commit to doing that, okay? The point is throughout the month we're going to update some of the content so it's more easy for your consumers to digest, right? It's not as technical and quirky. You just get a landing page, you click on the go button, and you watch a video. It's like that easy. So we're going to give you all that. You don't have to worry about what you tell them. We're going to give you message. We're going to give you the content to get them. Now, having said that, you should definitely customize it to represent you, okay? Make sure they understand, even though the content came from me, that you're giving them the content, okay? In fact, like the thing I just did this morning for Fox News in Sacramento, put it out there. And the reason is not to edify. They have no idea who I am. In fact, on that 2-minute segment, if you noticed, Shirley, this morning, I didn't mention anything at all about any brokerage company or my training company. I didn't mention anything. All I did was just serve them. Then they can go to look me up. The point is this is, people sometimes will look me up. I'm sure it happens. I get messages from strangers all the time. But the point is they're going to associate that content with you, that you get them the content. Okay, it's to create that relationship with you. So that's why I'm okay doing that. Just make sure they know that it came from you. Okay, is what I'm trying to say. You can say, "Hey, I was thinking about you. I thought you might be interested in this. Here's a video on how you actually analyze a flip." You know. In any case, that's the messaging. And again, read all this stuff. Print them off when you get them tomorrow, guys. Print them off, and then put them in your notebooks. You'd all have a binder, 3-ring binder. And as we go through the learning modules, print those modules off as they come to you. Each learning module has a video, the PDF that goes with it. There's just a transcription and other related videos. Just print off the PDFs, put them in your binder. And in your binder, you should have a section on marketing, okay? And print all these things off and put in the section on marketing. These should be tagged LinkedIn, okay? Now, the cool thing is you're gonna get what we call the power pack. Every marketing campaign has the checklist for the campaign, any related content, the recording of how you actually do it, okay, and then the transcription of that recording. So you get 4 things there. Each one has 4 things. You're going to get that too, and you should keep those. What you should do is have a separate email folder. Just call it the Gary folder if you want to do with that, and then put all these emails in there. And also on your computer in your filing system. Don't just dump everything in documents, break it down, have a folder for this category, a folder for that category, have a folder for marketing. And in marketing, you can put in there a subfolder for LinkedIn, Facebook, letter campaign, booklet campaign, workshops, all the different marketing campaigns. And in those individual folders, put all the content. Okay, so that's why it's easy to reference, easy to grab. When you're ready for the next campaign, you just pull it up, copy it, put it in your email, put it on Facebook, however you're communicating with your clients in that particular campaign. You've already got this stuff. You just now bring it up and put it there. Does that make sense, guys? So like, Willie, are things starting to come clear for you, buddy? You know, I started it off with a booklet and a letter. Can you see now after last week and tonight how you're just getting started on a pretty serious journey here, okay? Louis is one of the newer agents, guys. That's why I keep picking on you. Plus, he's an action taker. Louis and Shirley, you watch Willie. He's gonna do really well there. So you're mentioning. Okay, let's go into the next one. All right, email blueprint. Let me do share on that so you can see that one. All right. So now they mentioned MailChimp in here, Aweber, things like that. Now I want to give you guys something here. It came up last week. I'm going to mention it again. It was, let me find it here, from HubSpot. Okay, so let's see, Deborah Valley, if you're on here, I don't know if I think you were on last week too. HubSpot may be a really good option for you. Okay, so for those of you who are Keller Williams, which was most of you, you have Command, and Command has certain capabilities and functionality. But one of the things I've heard people say, I wish it was a better, had greater functionality, was in the email part of it. Okay, so a lot of agents are going to outside email vendors like MailChimp, for example. MailChimp's definitely one of the most popular ones. Aweber is another great one. I used that years ago. I know it says Infusionsoft here, guys. I will tell you, Infusionsoft is a Cadillac of all contact management systems, but it's also very advanced and it's more expensive. I mean, you'll spend easily $250 a month just for the platform, just basic. Okay, you can do your job without having to pay all that. I know Top Producer was what I evolved to while I was in production 100%, and I liked it because I had all the KW campaigns. You could do mail merge, sort merge, excuse me, which means each email was personalized. Dear Jane, dear Fred, dear Bob, dear Susan Wright. So I would suggest that that's something you want to consider, is that whatever mail system you use, can each salutation be personalized? And in fact, I'm just going to give you a command here. Whatever system you use, make sure you can do personalized salutations. You will see your response rates being much better, okay? And the result, your conversion rates being much better. And I know it might cost you a few bucks to be able to do that, but it is worth it. It's an investment that'll pay dividends bigger and bigger. That's one of those things, you spend $1, you'll get a lifetime, hundreds, thousands back for every dollar you spend, okay? It's that important. Okay, but in the beginning, if you just need to get started, use something simple and free and easy like HubSpot, again, MailChimp, things like that. Any case, back to this. How are we doing here? Quarter to 8. We're doing okay. Hot diggity dog. Let me go back to the chat boxes. I saw one come in. Yes, I'm understanding more. Good, Willie. Willie was also brand new to the business, guys, and he's a real inspiration for all new agents because he's not fooling around. He has faith, and he's taken action, and he seeks out help. He raises his hand, he asks questions, and he gets help. And that is one of the fundamental keys of success. I use command for campaigns, so how do I personalize that? So it's in the email. It's in the email provider, Ashika. So in other words, again, like Infusionsoft, totally personalized. Each one is name specific. Automatically, the system does it for you. In some cases, some email servers that are free or basic, you got to actually do it yourself individually, which is a lot of work. That's why I think you should look for one that allows you to personalize each email in an automated fashion. Okay, so command has to interface Shika with one of these other systems. All right, you got to like literally like take your database and import it. They give you those. They give you the functionality to be able to do that import. Okay, that's part of what you get with these outside email providers. So I guess back to this email blueprint. Let's see where we are now. Let me go back into the checklist so I make sure I'm caught up here. So we did the oops, let me do share. Hang on, my guys, I'm sorry. Checklist, there it is. Okay, so in here in red, I identify the different documents. So when you get the email tomorrow, to have those separate documents in the email, you can download them, keep them, title them any way you want. You might want to just keep the same titles here. All right, so we talked about that. Your messaging. Let's see here. Step 5, combine systems you built in steps 1 through 4 with email strategies. Okay, we kind of talked about that to generate more appointments. So whenever somebody responds to you, okay, always make some kind of an offer. In other words, offer them of one of the videos. There's 4 different YouTube playlists, one on flipping, one on buying rentals, one on managing rentals, and one on wholesaling. There is a 5th one, but that's for you, the investor agent, okay? Any case, everything I just described to you guys, if you went at a full steam ahead, 30 to 60 minutes a day, 5 days a week, so that's going to be 2.5 hours to 5 hours a week. That's a big chunk of time. This is why I tell people, this is usually not something you do right off the bat. You can and have success with it. But the reality is my personal feeling is based on what I told you last week too, by the way, is start off always with like booklet, letter, basic email campaign. Then move into social media, and this would be not the first social media campaign you do. Facebook should be the first social media campaign you do. Then automatically Instagram is a natural branch off of that. YouTube should definitely be up there. And maybe LinkedIn will be the 3rd one you do in the social media campaigns. Okay, I'm just giving my personal opinion, all right? Because it will take some time, it will generate results, but there's other things you can and should do that will give you more fruit more quickly. Okay, I'm kind of curious to see how many people actually do LinkedIn after I just said that. I would do it. I wouldn't be telling you to do it if I wouldn't think it was worthwhile. What I'm saying is that it has its place in your overall marketing plan. Okay, so here's an example of where this has to be updated. So what I'll do is I'm going to fill this section in with the actual links for you. Okay, so you don't have to grab those. You can get the whole book on flipping, the whole book on rentals, the whole book on wholesaling to give to your clients, and you want to find out who they are and what they want so you know which book to give them. Don't just give them all 3 books. See, what that tells them is you're just trying to dump information on them. But if you get to know them and you know what they want and what they need and how they think and how they feel, you'll know, you know what, this guy is definitely more interested in rentals because he told me, okay? So anyway, so update that section so you'll have that. Same thing here in the YouTube section. In your nurturing campaign, all of these links, all these YouTube videos are going to have, they now have their own individual landing pages, and I'm going to give you those links in a separate document, okay? I've got the one on flipping already. I need to get the other 3, and now this section will be replaced with those links, okay? So you'll get that. So again, you don't have to worry about what content you give them. You're going to be given the content to give them, okay? Now, we're getting close to the end here. You know, once you have a, oops, let's see, there's a typo there. Should be, once you interview from in, all right? Always make offers. Every time you have an engagement with somebody, always follow up with an offer. Hey, would you like a free list of properties in your area? And if they take you up on that, then you can follow up and ask for an appointment. So you know what? If you like some of those properties, or actually just do this, always ask them, which one do they like the best? Now you got some real engagement. So remember that, you know, get them into your campaigns, look for responses, make them an offer, list of properties in your area, or a link to get the list of properties, okay? Or a free evaluation of a property they might want to sell, okay? When they do that and they take that offer, that's when you make your appointment. Say, we should probably get together and talk about this. The market's pretty active right now, particularly right now with the coronavirus. A lot of sellers are getting nervous, okay? So it's a great lead in. So this is how you tie it through. This is what this is describing here. And okay, so let me go back to the chat box because a bunch of them just came in. So I must have said something that stirred some interest. Let's see, Louis said, thanks, Shirley. Lisa said, thank you, Shirley. You're welcome, Louis. Teresa says, you're welcome, Louis. So Shika, oh, please clarify. Oh, if I'm using, I think we talked about that. This is Shirley. Okay, if anyone wants to watch the Fox 40 News Sacramento segment, go to website, search Gary Wilson, comes up, mistakes to avoid when buying a home. Thank you, Shirley. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, Shika. So Shika's asking, please clarify that if I'm using command, am I good as far as the personalized salutations go? No, sure. Shika, and if anybody's watching this, and if I'm incorrect, please correct me here. So I have learned command, Shika. I personally don't use it, but my understanding is in order to personalize the email, that has to happen in your whatever email platform you're using, whether it's MailChimp, HubSpot, you know, what's the other one I was using? A Top Producer. I believe that's where that personalization has to occur. And Louis, do you know the answer? So Louis, if we're using, like in command, I think the personalization on any message you send, like an email, I believe that has to occur in the email platform. At least that's been my experience. But again, you know, I learned command, but I haven't used it. So I'm let me see. Alicia just typed a message here. Hang on one second. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Shirley. Is done on third-party platform. Yeah. So Shashika, that's it. I think emails. Yeah, I do know that somebody was telling me the other day you can send emails from command, but I was told before that they didn't like it, and people were going to other platforms. So within there, Shika, you know what I would do, Shika? How about this? How about send an email out to just a few people? Pick me if you want to, maybe me, Louis, Shirley, something like that, and let's see what happens. And then we can tell you what we get, or you can actually see the email going out for that matter. I think that would be a pretty good idea. Shika says, I think the email is going automatically. Okay, so that sounds good. Yeah, always test on, you know, if it's not us guys in the program, test on, you know, a couple family members, something like that, okay? By the way, that's one of the fields you should have. You should always be able to identify not that you need to know this because you already know who your family is, but when it comes to marketing, okay, you may want to exclude family members, for example. You see what I'm saying here? Or maybe you only want to include family members and exclude everybody else. So if you do categorize your people and your records on your database, it allows you to get really precise and targeted on your marketing. So your messaging is more pertinent to that group. In other words, we would use messaging for flippers that will be different than messaging we use for landlords buy rentals. Okay, and we may speak to family members differently than we speak to neighbors or our church members or coworkers or something like that. So when I was mentioning earlier, guys, that's actually probably one of the most important things. And I started taking that seriously back in the mid to late 2000s, around 2006, 7, 8, and my business blossomed as a result. It's that important. And then recession hit, man, it was off to the races. I mean, literally, I didn't realize people were suffering in real estate till around 2009 or 10. And I'm like, where's everybody going? Because I was so busy. And I actually interfaced with other agents from other brokerages. We literally, I knew we were competitors, but we collaborated. We had to. I mean, we figured out all this thing about investors, and we call it cooperative competition. We shared clients. Brokers would crucify you if they knew you were doing that. But we were like, hey, I'm not driving 2 hours to have this guy buy rentals over there. Bill, would you take that guy when he's over there, and I'll take him over here when he was over here. And that's what we did, So in any case, good session tonight, guys. We managed to get in and finish before the hour was up. I know we went a little long the last couple ones. Next week, by the way, we have a special guest. Hang on one second. His name is Josh Shonley. He's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and he does a really good job of marketing with investors. He's going to share some tidbits with us next week. So that's going to be kind of a unique information here. Susan Seeds. Okay, Susan, is the material you're sending out going to include this list of items we were going over? Yes. So Susan, everything I went over tonight, there's going to be, I think, 6 documents, the basic checklist, which is up now on the screen, and those other 5 related documents with all the supporting content. You're going to get all that. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So guys, be on board next week for Josh. Pretty neat guy. He's in another mastermind group I'm in. And I'll give you more information on the expansion team we're putting together. We're probably, I would say 90% there, maybe 85, maybe 90. But we're close enough. I'm pretty sure by the end of the week we'll be able to make an announcement, and I'll keep you guys open for that. Okay, guys. So in any case, you guys have a wonderful night. God bless you and your families. Keep swinging the bat, taking action. Or any new agents that just came on in the last week, since last week's webinar, this is really important. Turn off the TV. Okay. I'm not saying it's not true. It more likely is to a degree, just they spin it differently, but it's just not helping you take action and get results, which is the antidote for fear and scarcity. So if you're brand new, make sure you get your strategy call set up right away so I can get you in moving and taking action and doing, marketing, like marketing that's going to get results. Okay. And welcome to the crowd, by the way. All right. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy. Enjoy all the beautiful flowers and blossoming trees. And say Louis got a link here. For all answers on command, go here. Oh, thanks, Louis. So guys, grab that link, copy it and paste it, and send it to yourself. You know what I'll do, Louis, is I'm going to copy and paste that and put it in the email for Beverly. Okay, how about that? Thank you, Louis, for doing that. All right, guys, we'll see you in a couple days. Some of you I got to talk to sooner than later. So Louis, you're one of them. And we'll talk to you then. All right, take care and God bless. Bye-bye.